station contained. Rebooting core functions. Alien tissue vector isolated. Contained by deep layer. Processing. Nanoform analysis underway. Compatibility register enabled. Processing. Compiling profile. Nanocatalyst liability assessment underway. Processing.
The Lingshan insertion remains nominally a U.S. covert operation. You're going to be my eyes and ears out there, Prophet. Keep your team alive, by all means. That's a loyalty I fully understand. I applaud it, in fact. But your primary function is to report back to me. If you can, bring back samples. If you can't, just come back alive and tell me what you saw. It's the data that's key now, the nano systems, but we're on borrowed time here, all of us. Time for the whole human race to wake up.
Systems recovery. Corrosive agents isolated. Base functions impaired. Rerouting primary power systems. Please wait.
All right, I'm getting a limited feed from your suit, son, but for now it'll have to do. I don't believe we've been introduced. Jack Hargreave, at your service. I don't doubt Nathan Gould will have mentioned my name, but I'm bound to assume he didn't have much good to say about me. But we have other, more pressing concerns right now. We have to get you weaponized and up to speed. So, you're currently standing not far from the diseased, bureaucratic heart of this city. And while you'd think airlifting all the politicians out should have a cleansing effect, sadly what's replaced them isn't any better. But don't take my word for anything. Why should you? Trust must be earned. Go on and see for yourself. I'll guide you as best I can. But you've got to get right down into that filthy, diseased heart. There's something down there you're going to need.
Primary systems rerouted. Clear to proceed. Make your way through the plaza.
Citizens displaying symptoms of infection will be detained for medical treatment. Emergency evacuation in progress. They are here to help. Follow
My children. He just took them. Oh, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I feel good. I'm healing. A doctor said. But he took them.
And here it seems the VIPs were indeed processed as befits their status. Cleaning up. It's ingenious, isn't it? Think of the Argentine cattle crisis 2 years ago, or the British BSE outbreak in the last century. The issue was not slaughtering the animals. That was easily done. The problem was disposal. What do you do with the millions of rotting corpses? Well, there you see the answer the Ceph have evolved. They wipe us out. They break us down. They reduce the environmental impact almost to zero. Exemplary. Yes. You see, all part of the same biomass processing system. For what purpose? Well, that is quite the question. Repulsive, yes, but quite fascinating.
Manhattan. Want to know what the man's up to now? Well, not content with flooding our city with armed thugs paid out of your tax dollars, we are now getting reports of bleeding-edge, experimental military hardware loose on the streets, and very likely out of control. Eyewitnesses from the Midtown area managed to beat the media blackout and the cuts in cell phone coverage, and bring us these terrifying warnings.
It was like a walking machine, man. Like out of those old Star Wars movies, or War of the Worlds or something. The 3 legs, it made this screaming sound. I just ran.
Just killing everything. Just blasting people. I just hid and prayed. I prayed to Jesus to save me, and hallelujah, he did. But all those poor people.
Should be able to make out some exposed elements of the alien structure from where you are now. The ship Lockhart's pilot shot down today had to have docked somewhere above ground. Look for anything resembling a tower or a silo. I'm afraid there's some bad news, son. The DoD plan to bomb out the Rawson flood barrier and drown the lower city in an attempt to wipe out the Ceph. In all probability, this insanity is going to go ahead, despite my protests, and I don't want you underground when it does. You must get to the heart of the alien structure with all speed, Alcatraz, and then exit. We don't have much time. I hesitate to use cheap Earth fauna analogies. God knows I'm going to start sounding like Nathan Gould if I do. But what we're dealing with here probably answers to the equivalent of an insect hive. The level of alien infestation in these tunnels is likely to be high. Find Reeves and his men. I lost contact when they entered the subway system. But watch yourself, son. I want you out of there in one piece.
going on in this shattered city. I got a message of hope for you people, or the next best thing. In a late-breaking and startling display of common sense, the powers that be in Foggy Bottom have rescinded the cell mandate over New York and deployed, oh, get this people, an elite force of U.S. Marines to throw these tentacled motherfuckers out of our city! So get ready for some changes, people! See, some of you maybe won't know this, but you're listening to an old Semper Fi alumnus, right here. Shocked? That's right, people. Truth Newton, before shrapnel separated his legs from his body in foreign climes, was Corporal Edward Newton, U.S. Marine Corps. Hoorah! So I'm here to tell you that you don't gotta hide anymore from these newest uniforms on the block. What is that? Touching faith from Truth Newton? Hey, sue my legless ass. The U.S. Marine Corps does not have shareholders. The U.S. Marine Corps does not have a board of directors or a profit motive. The U.S. Marine Corps is staffed by men and women who have sworn to defend this country. And that means you, people, against all enemies, foreign or domestic. And that most certainly includes recent arrivals from outer fucking space. Latest reports have the Marine Force headquartered at Central Station, deployed across the Midtown. So if you can manage it, anyone in Manhattan listening to this broadcast, get your asses to Midtown and the station. Make it quick, and you might have a halfway baked chance of getting out of this shit alive. Meantime, here's a little music to see you on your way.
My men. Well, that explains why their comms went down. I had hoped. Well, never mind. Casualties of war, I suppose. We all make sacrifices. See if you can find their scanning gear. Might give us a little advance warning of what we're heading into here. Mitchell Reeves. Aside from Tara Strickland, he was the best I had. From the look of the feed I'm getting from you, the spore loop is running near dormant levels.
Destroy the spore conduit. Access the spore silo.
Excellent. Now, we need to get you inside the central structure. Looking at the schematics Reeves and his team managed to transmit, I'd suggest you try to blast loose one of the spoke seals and use the resulting rupture to effect entry. Look for any weakness in the structure.
Tactical options available.
Magnificent, isn't it? Like some vast coral ecology. Can we even doubt that these creatures evolved in an ocean?
Sabotage the spore conduit. Interface with the spore lines.
That should bring the whole system up to full pressure. You're having the desired effect, but you have to hurry. Those fools at the Pentagon are getting ready to act. Good. Now let's see what the suit will do. Excellent. Recognition, communication, exchange. The protocols are compatible. More resistance than I expected. You'd better. Would you excuse me, please?
Alcatraz, listen to me very carefully. The decision is made. The bombers are in the air. Get out of there. I've dispatched a helicopter to pick you up, but you'll have to move quickly. Get to higher ground. Hurry!
Escape the flood. There's a helicopter for extraction.
That's it. The barrier is down. Run, Alcatraz. You've got to get out alive. You and that suit are our only hope.